Good evening, everyone. I'm Viji, Assistant Professor in English. I'm here with an interesting topic that is how to overcome the barriers. In our last class, we discussed so many barriers, that is cultural barrier, language barrier, physical barrier, psychological barriers, so many barriers. So communication, it should be without the barriers, right? So if it is with so many barriers, if it is being engaged with so many barriers, we should know how to overcome all those barriers. Then only that communication will be purposeful and interesting, and it should give some it should end with some good feedback, right? And I'm here to give you a good list, that is with 10 ways to overcome a communication barrier. And before that, let me tell you how can we overcome. That is, if you are communicating, if you are going to communicate something, you have to check whether it is a good time and place to communicate with the person. That is the main thing and the major thing. Everyone should be aware of it, right? So whether it's a good time, we have to check. We should know that. We should be aware of it, whether it's a good time and place to communicate with the person, and being clear and using the language that the person understands. The next thing is communicating one thing at a time. Okay, you should not convey so many messages continuously, right? So only one message should be conveyed at a time, and respecting a person's desire to not communicate. If the listener is not ready to get the information from you, you have to respect, you have to show, you have to give your response for that, you have to stop your conversation, right? And just check whether the person has understood you correctly. Communication in a location that is free of distractions, it will help us to avoid that barriers, and acknowledging any emotional response as the person has to what you have said, that also should be avoided. Okay, so based on this, if you are making a communication, surely it will be very effective. And let me list out some other efficient ways, some effective ways to make your conversation, to avoid, to overcome all the barriers. The first thing is make eye contact. If you're conveying to a person, if you're conversing with a person, you just have a good eye contact with him and get their attention before you're starting. Before you speak, you have to get the attention of your listener. Then you just encourage hearing aid use, and speak clearly, but don't yell. That is, don't shout like anything. You have to speak clearly, it should be easily reached, right? And in group settings, speak one at a time. As I told you, you should not post so many things at a stretch. Okay, give only one concept at a time, then only it will be easy for the listener to recall the content. Then have your mouth be fully visible. Okay, then only it can reach, the words can reach. Okay, whatever you're trying to say, it can reach the audience only if they are able to see your lips, right? And then speak in a well light environment, that is the place where you are being. Okay, it should be good, it should have good light as well as ventilation, then only it will be easy and convenient for both the sender and the listener. Remember, if one ear is better than the other, right? And give important information in writing just to be sure. And while conveying a message, the sender should be very patient, because if the receiver is not ready to receive your message, you should not get anger or sad, whatever it is. So you should have enough patience. Okay, so if you are following all these things, surely you can overcome all the barriers and you can make your communication a more effective one. Thank you so much. Thank you for listening. Thank you.